it's Georgia from Day of Night and Sit, and today I want to go through my 3 additional ways that I've come up with to help your child learn through using flashcards. Like most of you, I'm sure, I'm always on the hunt for new ways to help Isabella learn, but also, be fun at the same time. Flashcards are a really great way to do this because they just help, you can build them up over time and things like that. So my 3 ways are separate or different from the normal way of just holding up a card and asking what it is and going through each individual card like that. So I'll take you through that now. Okay, so the first way I've come up with is what I call scatter and locate. Basically, this is where you take the cards, you just chuck them on the floor in a random pile. It doesn't have to be neat, tidy, it doesn't have to be in lines or anything. And basically all you do is you see one, you say to your child, can you find me one that looks like the moon or a bird or a car, and then they'll have to look on the floor and try and find it. So as you can see, she loves doing this one. It's one of her favourite ones, mainly because it involves making a lot of mess, but it really helps them to refine their focus and memory skills, because they have to think about what it is that they're looking for and remember what it is that you've said. Obviously you can help prompt them along the way, but that one's a really good one I found. For kids that perhaps can't say the words yet, but know what it is that you're asking for. I know Isabella's only recently started actually saying things like car and things like that. So before that, she would just use the sound for the animals or something, and she knew what I was asking for and she could find it, but she couldn't necessarily say the words. So that kids who are still developing their speech, it's a great way for you to try and encourage that, but also, it's easy for them at the same time. Again, if the whole stack of cards is a bit overwhelming for your child, you can always do it in small bundles. So you can take out a quarter of the cards or just several of the cards and build your way up over time as your kid gets more confident with that. Is matching and grouping. This is basically where you take a small selection of cards, perhaps about 6 to 8 cards, you put them down. Normally you have them in groups, so you have maybe, in our ones we've got a lot of duplicates. We've got parrots, birds, chickens, different coloured cars, a couple of like a crescent shape, and then we've actually got the moon, and I kind of group them together. So basically what I would do is I'd ask her, can you find mummy the birds, and she would have to point out all the ones that have birds on, all the ones that are the moon shape, and things like that. It just helps them to learn to categorise things and find things that are similar, rather than just exact matching. Of course you can do that again if you have duplicates. So then expanding off of that, my next one is like the memory and turnover game. Basically our cards are double-sided, so I'll cover up one side with a different card, with a different plain piece of paper or something like that. Show them the cards, like, this one's got a moon on, this one's got a duck on, this one's got a star on. Then turn them over, and she would have to find the one, or try and remember the one that had that one underneath it. Again, 6 to 8 cards might be a bit much to start off with. You can always try 3 or 4 cards and build your way up. A good point for all of these, if your child doesn't often use flashcards, start off with doing a couple that they know and that they learn, and as they get more confident, add in 1 or 2 extra new cards each time, and normally they'll kind of pick up what it is you're asking for just by process of elimination. So say you've got, again, a duck, a moon, a star and a fish, and they don't know fish, they know all the other ones, so when you ask a fish, they're probably going to go to the fish, and at least that's what Isabella does anyway. She sort of understands that that's the one I haven't used yet, so that's probably what that means, and that has really helped her to learn with those over time. Things to remember of this is every child learns differently. I know my friend's little boy, he had his flashcards down from about 12 months old. Isabella, she's only recently, within the last month or so, got to grips with what it is that we're asking from her. Again, and repetition helps. The more you go over it, the more likely it is that they'll start to pick it up quicker as it goes on. Again, if they're not in the mood, don't force them. Isabella sometimes really isn't in the mood to learn. You've got to be in the mood to learn. If you don't, then you're both just going to get stressed. We're new to using flashcards. Start with one category. I know when my mother-in-law got ours from TK Maxx, I'm not 100% sure how much they were, but it goes through colours, shapes, numbers, animals, and just a couple of other type of objects. Maybe if your child's better at learning shapes or better at learning animals, stick to one category first and try and make your way through those, and then add in a couple of the other ones. Isabella's pretty much got all of her animals down at the moment. We're going through shapes and she's starting counting as well a little bit, so we're getting there. But again, it takes time. There's a lot of flashcards in our pack, so it takes a while to go through them all. What I like as well is it's an activity that can grow with your child. you can start them off from really young before they can even talk, just showing them the shapes and going through you know, the images, making the sounds yourself can help encourage their speech from a really young age. As they get older, it helps them to identify things on the outside world. You know, you can talk through things with them. As they get even older, obviously they say to you, you can do these sort of grouping activities and things like that. Even into like childhood, primary school, secondary school, flashways are a really good way to revise for exams and things like that. So it's a good skill to get into, a good habit for them to learn, you know, trying to recall information off of a card. A lot of cards, I know, like I said, our ones are double-sided, they have an image on each side with some words. Some of them just have the image on one side and then they have just a plain word on the back showing what that image is. So again, if you've got one of those, that would be really great, because then you can ask your child, it helps them to learn to spell, to read. That's really educational. I hope it's helped you. If you're looking for new ways to help your child to learn, let me know if you've enjoyed today by liking this video and subscribe. And comment if you have anything extra to add, or if you've enjoyed or you want to see anything new. Don't forget to subscribe. As usual, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter. Please follow me at Day of Nights. I'd like to hear from you. You can check out more information of different kinds of things, cleaning, DIY, family routines on my blog, dayofnights.weebly.com. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you soon. Bye guys.